Welcome back to Relationship Wednesday on Life and Style. We're on Talk to Pastor Chris, coming to you right here from the Michael Joseph Center. I'm your host, Chris J. Remember to follow us on our social media platforms at KTN Life_Style for both Twitter and Instagram, KTN Life and Style for Facebook, and to send your questions, your comments, your observations via text. 22840 is our text message number. You could also follow me at CJ Atemo, both on Twitter and Instagram, and of course even on Facebook. I've got my panel over here. We were discussing before the break the issue of closure, which was very heated right here, but we still need to hear your thoughts, so keep the conversation going, even yourself. Get everybody to tune in and watching. And for the first time, we've got an audience that is right over here, quite some young people, and they've got a lot also to bring into this. Well, I'm going to go into the second question, but before I do that, Ruth was saying that if it's meant to be, it will be.
Yes.
Are relationships based on fate, or people must do something about it? Douglas, do you believe if it was meant to be, it will be, or is it possible for me to lose something that could have been something that I should have been having?
I think when you're breaking up or doing the closure, it's because maybe you've maybe observed or analyzed the relationship, and the two of you have come to an agreement by things are not working. So now I'm exiting that relationship. I should not have another clause of just maybe something might work out together. Because most of these relationships I've seen, me myself, is they never rebound. And when they rebound, it means you had an agreement, we're just separating for some times. Maybe the things we're working on, the two of us have an agreement. But if it is all of us are parting ways and there's no closure for all of us, maybe we can come back together, and then there's no need of maybe thinking of one day I might have this person in my life. But like you said, the silent treatment is not always the best, but I think verbal communication is the best way to end a relationship. Don't let them gaze, and then at the end of it is you'll come back, like she said. So
okay.
Yeah.
No.
Your question?
I want to go into my next question right now. This is a very interesting one. Keith, I'll start with you. Would you date a woman who cannot cook?
Wow. Wow. I have in the past.
All right.
And hey, if she ever watches this, she was a brilliant person.
Okay.
She was balanced, something very rare,
right.
Especially today. And I didn't know. And she used to have, I think, her friends make meals when I was coming over. So we'd be the two of us, and then at around lunchtime there'd be a third party, and then there'd be lunch. I later learned that she couldn't cook, and it was so bad she couldn't even make like tea. Like she could only do the microwave tea and put a tea bag in. But now it's no.
Wait, no? Yeah. Because you see, one thing I believe is that
because I'm not comfortable with it.
one thing I believe is every relationship, the things that you learn and the things that you unlearn. So you cannot exactly maybe do a list of the qualities you desire from her, because probably it's the way she was brought up. Maybe brought up with a lot of house managers, and most of the things she used to do, maybe eat in the hotels. And I think that is a very simple thing to get someone out of your life.
And I agree with that, but I still wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
He mentioned there's a list.
Yeah.
So for me, it's on that list.
On that list. But see, the thing that you can learn and unlearn. So that thing that probably, unless she doesn't want to cook totally and she doesn't want to learn. Yeah?
Do you think it's easy for a lady at that stage to learn how to cook?
I have a lot to say about it.
Okay,
but
go ahead.
First of all, I think one thing we should know as we discuss this is when you're dating a lady, you're not dating her so that she can come and do wifely duties. First of all, you're still dating. And even when you get married, she's coming to be your helper, yes. She's not coming to work for you. Let's start from there.
Whether she knows how to cook, or whether she knows how to handle tasks in the house. First of all, we have to go for the features which you think are relevant and important in terms of meeting your satisfaction.
Naweza muoa lakini mfunze kupika. cooking and maybe doing some cleaning at basics. Like as a woman, you need to do them.
I can cook, don't get me wrong, I cook very, very well. But I would not expect...
We've already booked a date, Douglas, Keith, and myself.
Yes.
We're coming in to try that.
Definitely.
Whether you can cook very well.
Yes,
All right.
but I would not get into a relationship with a man who is expecting she's here. A bachelor who is expecting tomorrow my breakfast is sorted, my lunch for the week is sorted, atakuja apike aweke kwa fridge, I'll be okay. I don't... No, because it's okay to date a lady who can't cook. It's very okay. It's the same way I would also, it would be a plus for me if a man can cook. Because what happens if I'm bedridden for 2 months?
What you're saying is like a catering business. If you're asking for breakfast now, lunch, no.
Because there are men who do that.
Because Pastor Chris is just asking who can cook.
Yeah, and
Like
I
even
think
once in a month?
Keith talked about something very basic. Say like, even just something like tea, this person could not do. And I think when you're in a relationship, if it is a healthy relationship, you're going to have healthy expectations of each other. Where I don't think we're trying to ask whether somebody wants to have a slave
But
in their house.
I've met, I did an example, a couple where the lady couldn't even spread the bed because she was raised in that kind of an environment, yeah, whereby everything was being done for her. Whether it's spreading the bed, it's washing her stuff, you know, taking the things from the, taking her things from the table to the kitchen. And what happened was, the man, because the man really, really loved her, and he was able to overlook, because it comes again to you as a person, the man was able to overlook these small things because of every other thing she had. And what he did, he took her for training, and the lady now is perfect when it comes to, you know, the cleanliness, the cooking, the everything. She can now do all that.
All right.
But it didn't take her like a day.
Well, so what you're saying is,
Yes,
it was still important to this man.
it was
that
important to
woman
this man.
would
Yes,
do this
yes,
kind
that
of
is how
stuff.
he helped her. He groomed
But
her
then now,
into it.
how he handled it is different.
Yes.
But you can see it was important. He didn't overlook it. If he overlooked it, he wouldn't have taken her for training.
But they dated first. You see, the question was, can you date someone who, can you be with someone who can't
right.
cook? The
Claire, you want to
qualification.
say something?
Yeah, what I can say is when you're in love with somebody, you try as much to please that person, especially if you know what that person loves.
Okay.
You're laughing. You're gonna do your all to make sure that you please that person. Like, I have this friend, like, she hated house chores, by the way. She didn't even know how to cook.
Right.
But she met this guy who appreciated her. Even the guy has to be patient, especially if you value that woman.
Right.
So you have to be patient. And this chick, she also came to love the guy, and she tried the best to do all that. She started learning how to cook. It's not like, okay, she didn't love it at first, but because now she loves this guy, and no matter the food that you cook, even if it's not that tasty, the guy is just there and appreciates it, and he's like, yeah, it's nice. You see, you get motivated to do more because the guy is appreciating. Even if the food is not that tasty, but your guy is appreciating it, and you feel like you want to do more for that guy. But if I find somebody who doesn't give you that
All right.
chance,
The ladies watching at home, or the guys watching at home,
Yeah.
please get off your comfort zone. Because what I'm hearing here, it's a bit risky. People are being told it's okay to be loved even if you can't cook. But the person saying that is a grade A chef, as per her own words.
If I want to stay in the relationship, all I have to do is change.
Is it true then that the way to a stomach? Who has the microphone? Is it?
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
It's true?
Yeah.
Is that important to you?
As for me, okay, it all depends actually. Because as for me, I know how to cook.
Okay.
I can cook for myself, yeah.
So, well, you know how to cook. Would you date somebody who doesn't know how to cook?
I'll teach how to cook. Because as for me, I know how
thank
to
you,
cook.
thank you, thank you.
Yeah.
They'll date first. You date me first, collect me, and then teach
He
me.
didn't say that.
Later.
He didn't say that.
Yeah, don't tell me, there's nowhere we're going because you can't cook. And I'll give an example. I can't wash, but you might find there's a man who only wants a lady who knows how to wash clothes. You understand?
Okay.
So he will take me first and then teach me.
Someone who doesn't know how to cook, you can teach her or show her how to cook. if we'll take our initiative as parents to teach our daughters, charity has to begin from home.
Let me find a lady over here. Is it fair to be judged based on your ability to cook or not? Let me have the lady that is at the back behind you. Just give her the microphone. What's your name? All right. Hold your microphone well. Close to you. Is it fair to be judged on the ability to cook? Can you cook?
Yeah, I can.
You can. Okay.
So you can do it.
Is it fair to be left because you can't cook?
No, the man has to be understanding.
He has to be understanding.
Yeah, he should at least try to teach the girl.
All right. But Douglas, you know.
I think there's someone who wants to add
Somebody wants to say something? Okay. You pass over the microphone. Kindly introduce your name.
Okay, my name is Mr. Violin. I'm a music artist.
All right.
Yeah.
So have you ever come here? Have you ever performed here?
I haven't yet.
You haven't?
Performed, but if I get the opportunity, then I'll do it.
Then you will.
Yeah,
because the Michael Joseph Center is a good place for such kind of stuff.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Violin.
Okay. What I say is this. In my case, for example, if I meet a lady, if I'm dating a lady who doesn't know how to cook, okay, I'll teach the lady how to cook if I know.
All right.
But then as we were continuing this discussion, I was asking myself, like, what about if you don't know how to cook?
As the man.
Yeah, you don't know how to cook, and the lady doesn't know how to cook.
So none of you can teach the other.
No, none of you.
it out.
That's why I was supporting this guy.
Keith. You support Keith. Like
In some way.
What's supporting Keith?
If you don't know how to cook and the lady doesn't know how to cook, then who?
Yeah, there's going to be a problem. Douglas, how do you deal with that?
I have a question for Keith.
Keith has a problem.
Wait, okay, you're going to ask the question, but I'm asking you, can you answer Mr. Violin? What happens where you don't know how to cook, then this lady doesn't know how to cook? So who's going to teach them?
Let me say this. You see, we're throwing a lot of weight on the lady side. I was thinking of this. Keith is driving, and he has the lady in the car they're driving. And they get a puncher somewhere, and then he doesn't know how to fix the puncher. Will that lady leave Keith because of that?
If it's on her list, then that's fine.
No. You see, that lady will not say, if you can't change the puncher, I'm leaving you.
Yeah.
The thing is, she'll be
But
patient.
puncher won't happen every day. No. I mean, food is life and death.
She will discover one thing that he doesn't know, that he expected him to know.
I'm just thinking, you know, I'm just thinking this, and not to support Keith, but I'm just thinking, how often would you have a puncher?
It's not often, yeah? But this is what Ruth expected him to do, but it's really that other men are doing it, but he's not able to
Remember
do it.
I didn't even ask, would you date a lady who can change a diaper? Because that's something that happens. I'm asking about cooking. Yes.
So what we'll do is, like all of them said, you see, you'll not tag your, because you see, like she said, you're dating this person, and cooking will be the last thing you'll discover in that relationship, because you're not telling her now, before you start dating, let's see if you know how to cook first of all. It might be the last thing you'll discover from her, maybe when you visit her or when people are almost getting married. So I think if you have been patient with her in other maybe shortcomings or things that she's not able to do, and you're able to just adjust and maybe learn those things, it will be a simple thing for you to do what, to also just maybe see it's a problem, but see how we can overcome, since we have overcome other stuff that all of us are not fitting together. If the two of them don't know how to cook, you see, I'll not blame any of them. But what we do is, I think the things you learn together, like you say, there's a lot of way you can learn how to cook, all of you. Either go to Google or invite a friend that, hey, we're having lunch, can you come and cook together? Yeah, no one is to blame.
Just to add on to what he said in response to him, nowadays we have, it could be an activity that you could do together as a couple. Why not sign up for cooking classes? It could be a fun activity you do as a couple, and when you go back home,
what happens if you guys don't even have the resources for?
Then you do what YouTube. You invite YouTube, or you do YouTube. What I had, the question I had for the gentleman, especially Keith, was, I can cook. I'm a good cook. I've been cooking, say, for the past 2 years in a relationship, and then something happens, and I'm bedridden for 2 months. I cannot cook. What happens then?
This is what I say. Let me just retake that conversation. Would I date a lady who cannot cook? No. And I'm sorry, I'm not sorry about that. However, if I was dating a lady, say, who could cook, I'd probably, one, cook more than her, probably eat outside more. I did not say that I needed someone to make me fresh meals all the time. I just said it's a handy skill to have. And then also, not just for the cooking, and ladies in studio and at home, not just for the actual cooking. There are other undertones that you cannot make your bed. And then you say you are brought up in an environment that you cannot cook. And then you say you blame it on an environment.
I was going to come to that,
yes,
because I wanted to ask, are we using the environment as an excuse, or is it really a reason?
Yes, so that's what I was going to say. This is an extension of other things. Is it an issue of personal attitude? Is this someone who just doesn't care? Because if you cannot make, for me this is a no-no. The first thing I do after I get out of bed is say a prayer, and then I quickly pull my sheets back up.
Right.
So someone who can't do those basic things, I mean, what life skills do you have if you cannot make a meal?
Right. How important is it? Let me now hear from the ladies over here. How important is it? How important is it for you to know how to cook, especially in this generation? How important is it?
It's important because, like he has said, I might lack a person who will love me because they can't cook. And even as I was brought up, since I was small, I must learn how to cook, to wash utensils.
That still happens even in this day? People still train their daughters to do that?
Yes, because you want to be a good wife in the future.
Right.
So, and also it's an it's an embarrassment to me, because imagine now a person wants to date me, he's depending on me to do all those stuff. How will we help each other in that house? We can't.
You're my kind of girl. It's an embarrassment. You want to say something? All right, just pass on the microphone. Yeah. Kindly introduce yourselves whenever you're making your comments.
Hello. My name is Emily Kagendo Mukaria.
All right.
I'm a Kenyatta University graduate. So my view on a lady who cannot cook, I'll say no. I'll not even support my brother or any close or anyone special to me to date a lady who cannot cook. In everything life, we have ethics. Like in business, we have ethics. In ethics of business, ethics of relationships. So when it comes to cooking, it's for the lady, but it is not a must that the lady has to do it like all the time. But a lady must cook. In the modern world, everyone cooks. Like you will find even small kids are cooking. They are making burgers. Okay, ladies may not, men may not know how to make, or even kids. Right now, if you walk everywhere, you'll find that kids make foods. They make those. Okay, it's maybe they're using the modern materials to do that, but cooking basically it's meant for a lady.
So
from the biblical view and any other view, it's meant for a lady.
So what you're saying is that a lady should just teach herself, as Kit said, life skills, right? Not necessarily because you're going to be somebody's slave, you know, not necessarily because you're going to be somebody's cook, but it is important for a lady to know how to cook.
No, Pastor Chris, let me ask this. What if, like nowadays, there are these homes where there are some parents who don't want their kids to work at all? They rely on house girls. That person...
The environment.
And you know, I'm going to say to them right over here over the camera that that's irresponsible. It's irresponsible, in my view, to have, for example, children eat at the table and walk off that table and call the house girl from the kitchen to come and remove the dishes. I think that's irresponsible. No matter how much money you're paying that person, there's the element of respect regardless of whether they're your servant or not. Because if I'm going to jump out of bed and then scream the house girl's name to come and fix that bed, I think that's irresponsible, my personal views.
I agree with you, Pastor Chris, but let me just say this even as we are discussing this. I agree it is good for a lady to know how to cook, but I don't think it should be a measure of whether or not I'm dateable or whether
Alright.
or not I'm married.
Okay.
I'm wife material. Everyone has their checklist, I agree.
Right.
However, I don't see why I should, tick off 90% on your
Because of the
list,
cooking.
and then just because of my cooking, you decide that 10% is not worth it, And in as much as we should train our kids, we should do what, but let's also remember to train our sons to do the same, so that even as a lady is growing up, they can be able to teach. When they are at the age where they've found their better half, they're able to train this lady as well, because we all come from different backgrounds. And just with the example that she's given, it is wrong that, and in some houses they do that. In as much as it's wrong, in some houses they do that. Some don't even know where the cups are kept in their houses.
That's why we're trying to
So
help
you
them
need
right
to,
now.
yes, it is wrong, and that is why you shouldn't criticize the lady. And even before you know what's her story, I don't think it should be a measure whatsoever.
And what I said is not just for the ladies. Even if you have sons, they should learn to do their bed.
Yes.
They should learn to carry their plates over there. It's just being responsible. Because they'll carry that same culture into the workplace. They'll carry it into every other thing that they do, not just relationships. So they'll be in the office and they never do anything, see a piece of paper on the floor and never pick it because they don't know.
Exactly.
So it's just the training, just making people become responsible, not for them to become slaves. Anybody else who has something to say concerning that? All right. What's your name?
I'm known as Brini. I'm an artist. I think
Alright.
it's essential for a lady to know how to cook. Even if she'll not be coming at your home to be cooking, they normally say that no one is perfect, but you're the one to make her perfect. So dating a lady who does not know how to cook is not a problem. With time, she'll know. You'll teach her how to cook and everything will be okay.
If the willingness, if like she said, let's see why she's not able to cook, and let me not judge her first of all, and then let me see if she's. I'm not judging you. You see, you're the person making it good.
Douglas, I've just remembered something. We were in college, and I was involved in a lot of activities. One of them was hockey. So we went out in the field, and after we had played, because then we were training both the male and the female together. After we had trained, we went to this house. A friend of mine, I hope he's not watching. He's a professor somewhere right now, and he was a graduate assistant by then. We were in undergraduate, and so he had a house there. So we went to his house to eat. So we bought a lot of eggs, So we these young guys who go to the gym, we train, so we want to eat eggs. And then one of the ladies took up to cook, and man, the eggs had soup. So the eggs were floating on top of water. I'm serious. She put in. Now, when that is your first encounter, how are you going to go about that? That's where you need the patience.
And understand, you see, because probably that's how they cook. So, like, I'll come and you know what, me when
Are there people who cook eggs with soup?
People cook differently. People cook differently.
Okay.
Differently. So probably he knows how to cook, or she knows how to cook, but not the way I feel I need to eat that meat. Yeah. So like when I married my wife, I know people from the central part. We understand that we'll cook everything in one sufuria, so that we minimize. Yeah? So that's the notion. Yeah, that's the notion. So I had that notion that my wife will cook everything in one sufuria, so that we minimize on the usage. But when she came to the house, she learned that where I come from, everything has its own sufuria. So I'll ask her. I'll try to maybe not bash her, but try to know why is she cooking this way, and then I'll bring in the way I feel like this should be done. Because I think you didn't bash her, but maybe probably you showed this is how it's supposed to be done. And I love eggs when they're cooked, not floating.
So who decides how we cook? Because in your situation, so you've got this culture where you cook using different sufurias. Somebody has come in here who everything must be cooked in one sufuria. So why should they shift to your way of cooking? Who decides what we're going to eat in this place?
I think it comes from an agreement, because most of them, like even if they're cooking in one sufuria, It's because the way they found it being
Okay,
done.
let me use that situation that I use. So if I love probably dry eggs, and then this person, that's how they do the soup thing. So when we are cooking the meal for the family, how are we going to cook it?
We will come to an agreement whereby I think
So we
most
make
of the
it
time,
wet fry?
most of the times it goes to the man's side.
I think
All right, we have run out of time. Yeah, but we have run out of time. Hope that you have had a good time. You've been enlightened back at home. But remember, you can keep the conversation going. KTN Life and Style is the hashtag. 22840 is a text message number. If there is any topic, any question that you have, you want us to address together with the panel and the live audience too, we will do that. So send your text messages 22840. You could also send email lifeandstyle@standardmedia.co.ke. Follow us on at KTN Life_Style for both Twitter and Instagram, KTN Life and Style for Facebook. You could also follow me at CJ Atemo on both Twitter and Instagram, and CJ Atemo again on Facebook. Well, what's coming up next is my style story. So this has been it from us right here at the Michael Joseph Center.